In the summer of 1996, Sega released Nights into Dreams for their 32-bit Saturn console. This 2.5D adventure was Sega's answer to games like Super Mario 64, not to mention Sonic's own absence on the platform. It starred Knights, a jester-like creature trying to help two children defend the dream world of NiGHTopia from the evil wise men. The gameplay takes place on a 2D plane that sort of wraps around each course in a circular fashion. These courses are set up so you have to collect orbs, and once you collect enough of them, you got a boss fight. It had an incredibly complex scoring system if you wanted to explore it, and even some cool subsystems involving the creatures that inhabited the lands of NiGHTopia. Sega also developed the system's 3D analog pad around this title, which was also packed in with certain versions of it. It was a visually appealing game that had a unique sense of style as well. While most of the gameplay wasn't truly 3D, the engine was smooth, fast, and with an art style that was as different as anything that entire generation. It was well received by most publications as well as Saturn owners, and its popularity endures today. Most of you already know everything I just said, so why am I telling you all this? Well, later in 1996 around the holiday season, Sega decided to make one of the coolest demo discs this hobby has ever seen. And believe it or not, they gave it away absolutely free. In this episode, we will be looking at Christmas Nights into Dreams, Sega's gift to old and new Saturn fans alike. Back in 1996, there were multiple ways to get Christmas Nights. It was given away with some magazines. In fact, that's how I got it myself, thanks to Next Generation. You could also get it by buying a Sega Saturn game around that time. These discs came in paper sleeves with no instruction manual. In Japan, it was packaged in with the system itself as a special promotion. This release came in a full jewel case like other retail Saturn games in Japan, complete with an instruction manual. Every region had its own disc variant as well. The US and PAL releases were decent, but the Japanese frosted white disc is a beauty. This release also tends to be the cheapest one to obtain, usually no more than $20 or so. The US and PAL paper sleeve releases go for much more. The nice thing is that the Japanese version suffers no major language barrier issues, so if you have interest, that's the one you want. If you're wondering what makes a demo like Christmas Night so special, you only need to play around with the internal clock of the Saturn. For most of the year, it's just Nights into Dreams limited edition. There's not a lot special about it on the surface. It's the first level of the full game, a boss battle, and that's pretty much it. But what makes this version so special is the sheer amount of hidden and unlockable content the disc has stored away. The first of these bells and whistles is the previously mentioned use of the Saturn's date and time. Depending on the date, this game completely changes its theme. During the winter months, it snows, and at Christmas, it becomes a radically changed experience with new graphics and music while you play. It even changes things up regularly during the winter months by the hour. The time of day changes the background and other visual cues. You don't get just Christmas bonuses either. Valentine's Day and a few other holidays prompt some changes as well. Christmas Nights just keeps on giving too. There are a ton of unlockable modes, art, music, videos, and even an appearance by a certain blue speedster. Playing the main games unlocks presents, which grants you access to all this extra content. It's actually quite amazing that Sega went this far, and turning such a simple concept as a demo into something owners of the Saturn still talk about nearly 25 years later. There really had been nothing like it, and Sega gave it away for free to thousands of grateful Saturn owners. The story behind the creation of this limited edition demo is a tale of redemption. Sega had fared poorly in the West against Sony in 1995, and then again against Nintendo in 1996. Nights into Dreams had been their effort to capture the hearts and minds of gamers still on the fence. They wanted to make something easy to obtain and would make a lasting impression for the platform. The idea was initially conceived by Yuji Naka himself, after seeing the Christmas-themed Lemming software. Lead game designer Takashi Iizuka has said the entire project was then put into action as a way to show potential customers just how unique and cool the Saturn was. This little demo also marked the very first time Sonic would be featured in a fully 3D world, predating the other Saturn outings by a year or more. Sonic into Dreams was quite the experiment, and gave the little blue blur complete access to the entire stage available in the demo. You even got an Eggman themed boss of your very own for this mode. I came away from this with a newfound appreciation for just how difficult it would be to make a fully 3D Sonic title on the Saturn. Even as fast and as beautiful as the engine that ran NiGHTS was, you could see it would take quite a bit more polish to actually make for a solid, standalone title. It didn't matter though, because Sega had done all this for a simple demo, a striking and memorable effort to extol the virtues of Saturn ownership. Christmas Nights, and indeed the full game itself, was one of the Saturn's more unique and defining experiences. To get the most out of them, you needed to learn how the scoring system worked, but these days I just enjoy the freedom of flight and the audio-visual presentation. Just soaring the skies of this game is enough to be fun, and immediately transports me back to simpler times. You often hear a lot about the many things Sega got wrong during this time period, but Christmas Nights was an unequivocal success story about giving back to your fans. While it was just a demo to a much larger game, the hidden content, the presentational changes, and the utter and complete coolness of the idea still resonates today with the Saturn community. There are titles out there that can single-handedly define why the Saturn was so special and so different from its competitors. Whether you love, hate, or fall somewhere in between on NiGHTS, it's pretty easy to understand how this game set itself apart. Us Saturn fans may have been in the minority, but we certainly didn't lack for some incredible memories. I'm Sega Lord X, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.